Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00. Today we have an interesting theory on the monitor of Installation 03, 049 Abject Testament. So let's get a bit of history on him first. Near the very end of the Forerunners' war against the Flood, 049 Abject Testament was commissioned alongside 6 others in order to oversee the Neoteric Halo array, with Installation 03 in particular being placed in his charge. Right before the Halo rings were dispersed from Installation 00, in its place beyond the rim of the Milky Way, all 7 monitors convened aboard a vessel known as the Lifeworkers Creche. There, they were certified as being fit for their duties, the first of which will be the preparation of the activation index distributed to each for each installation. The isodidact and a handful of Lifeworkers gathered with Abject Testament, and the 6 others within the ship's command center before the final disbursement of the array. The monitor of Installation 04, 343 Guilty Spark, commented to Abject Testament on the current inability to access the domain and the potential loss of Forerunner history.
The history of all Forerunners was now lost to us. We relied upon the permanence of the domain to preserve our record of the events that led to this point. But without that record, would future civilizations know anything about us? Or only of our weapons? My fellow monitor, 049 Abject Testament, had only one comment on this before we went our separate ways.
We deserve to be forgotten.
Perhaps.
Thereafter, Testament was relocated to Installation 03 within the galaxy's Sutum Centaurus arm, with the array being activated shortly thereafter. Following the firing of the array, Testament eventually ceased directing Installation 03's functions. By the time 26th century humans discovered the ring in the Caffrey system, tens of thousands of reports had been filed by the Halo's sub-monitors detailing the poor state of quarantine controls and lack of action on outstanding maintenance and research requests. These reports dated back at least 20,000 years. On July 25th, 2557, the monitor of the Builder-World Clinquant, 859 Static Carillon, noticed a service portal between his installation and Gamma Halo had been reactivated. Carillon made several attempts to contact Abject Testament about the reactivation, but received no response. Abject Testament's assertions that the Forerunners deserve to be forgotten displays a personality that evidently resents the actions of the Forerunners and harbours a palpable regret or guilt regarding the events which were to take place after his deployment as the Ring's monitor, in particular, the cleansing of life in the galaxy. They evidently couldn't have known that the domain was inaccessible, likely due to the pre-event echoes of the array's firing. But was 049's sombre moral absolutism more than a guilt over the firing of the rings? Was there more to this? We know that 343 Guilty Spark was created by composing the physical form of the ancient human Chakas. It is then likely that 049 may have also been created from a composed form. 049's comment demonstrating a resentment for the Forerunner suggests perhaps that he was made of the composed essence of an ancient human as well, but with some differences. Chakas' memories and experiences with the Forerunners was primarily one of positivity, the librarian guiding his life to something better, the young manipular, born stellar makes eternal lasting, being a close friend of Chakas. And while he did ultimately evolve into the isodidact, it was the isodidact who returned and rescued him and eventually composed him due to his injuries. As such, 343 Guilty Spark's personality is one of positivity towards his creators. It is possible 049 Abject Testament was created of a composed human, but perhaps a stored essence from when humanity and the Forerunners were at war with each other. It is known that essences were stored for this amount of time and longer. If the composed essences of an ancient human warrior was turned into a monitor, and aspects of their original personalities could shine through, then it stands to reason 049 may possess a great degree of resentment towards the Forerunners for the human Forerunner war and the firing of the arrays in tandem. This at least goes some way to explaining his comments to Spark. But moreover, after the firing of the arrays, it would appear that 049 served his duties for a time and gradually became more lax in his duties. For at the very least 10,000 years before Installation 03's discovery, 049 had gone AWOL altogether, the sub-monitors of the installation filing the necessary reports of lack of action on the part of 049. So where did he go? Well, we have also discovered that monitors can move their personality cores to new systems at will. The heavily damaged 343 Spark post-Halo 3 moved his personality over to an Oni ship systems, and later an Armiga platform. Well, there is a chance, at least, that 049 may have been discovered by the Covenant. 049 went missing at least 10,000 years ago. Approximately 3,000 years ago, the Covenant was founded, which leaves a lot of time for 049 to do some travelling across the Gulf of Space. Bearing in mind that a monitor's carapace, at least to our knowledge, is not capable of faster than light travel, but it does contain impulse drives that allow it to make extended journeys.
Perhaps a visit to the nearby gas giant is in order. My impulse drives could certainly make the journey. A few hundred years of travel might do me some good.
049's installation is located within the Sutum Centaurus arm of the galaxy, while the Covenant and humanity almost exclusively inhabit the Orion arm of the galaxy. These two separate arms of the galaxy actually curve outward from galactic centre within 5,000 light years of each other for close to a 210-degree rotation from the centre. If this is the case, then at the very least 7,000 years, but likely significantly longer, for 049 to go AWOL from his installation may be just enough time to cross that distance between the two arms of the galaxy and stumble upon the Covenant, perhaps not even in a fully functioning state. So what happened to him then? Likely in privacy, the semi-active Oracle was discovered and examined by the Prophet of Truth. It is ironic the Prophet chose that name for himself when much of his conduct was shrouded in lies and manipulations, but I digress. Truth will have seen how defunct the Oracle had become so far from his installation for so long, and thus covertly tried as best he could to salvage the Oracle to glean more information. How did he do this? Well, have a listen.
We deserve to be forgotten. Jumbled grass. Familiar turns. I serve. None serve me, Oracle. We deserve to be forgotten.
Both Abject Testament and the unknown AI from within Truth and Reconciliation have strikingly similar voices, and both have similar personalities. Outside of the lore, both the characters were actually voiced by the same person. So is it possible that 049 grew tiresome of his installation and fueled by a resentment of the Foreigners and a desire to avoid serving the Foreigners, he fled his installation and his duties and spent millennia moving across the cosmos in total isolation, gradually experiencing the onset of rampancy due to his isolation and since he had no tasks to occupy him. After several thousand years of travel, he became so rampant that he became partially inactive and drifted the remaining distance into the Orion arm, eventually coming across the Covenant and being discovered by the Prophet of Truth. The Prophet then used his power and influence to hide his discovery and worked in secrecy to revive the Oracle, using old Covenant AI frameworks to give the Oracle a lifeline, and after much work, 049 was partially reactivated, now within a luminary created for the sole purpose of feeding Truth as much information as possible, so his absolute hold over the Covenant and its interests could be maintained. And to hide his most sacred and divine of tools, he had the luminary fitted within a small CCS-class battlecruiser called the Truth and Reconciliation, well away from the prying eyes of his fellow Sanshayum, but still within his reach, should he have needed it. The cruiser was kept within a strong and loyal fleet, led by one of the Prophet's most treasured instruments, which ultimately stumbled upon Installation 04. When 343 Spark encountered the Covenant AI, since it was only a partially active fragment of 049 stitched back together with ancient Covenant AI frameworks and duplication code lines, 343 did not recognize him. Yet this AI appears to have recognized the tonality of his once fellow monitor.
Jumbled grass. Familiar turns.
And alas, after all the mystery surrounding 049 and his whereabouts, is it at all possible that at least this partially active fragment of 049 Abject Testament made such a monumental journey finally meet his end when Master Chief, the child of his makers and a member of his own species, destroyed Installation 04, finally sending him to the divine beyond? Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below, I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons, so Tenchi the Silent Cartographer, Brian, Sebastian, Holden, Defiant Alpha 117 and Nathan the Holders of the Mantle, Darian, Ty, Black Biscuit, J Rabbit, Austin, Brent and Kaiser my Reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Variable Statue, Spesigo, Spartan A498, Guppy, Josh, Mickey and Bastian my Metarchs and all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. You guys are awesome and all of this wouldn't be possible without you. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. And if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.